So today, we're with Devin of M&M Productions.
Yes, sir.
DJ, entertainment, whatever
That's
you
right.
need.
Lighting, string lighting, uplighting, monograms.
Awesome.
Just a fun time all around, man.
All right, let's get into it. Tell a little bit about your business.
Well, M&M Production got started in 1992. The original owner was one of those frat guys. So he started it so he could do house parties on campus, and it's evolved over all of this time into this ginormous beast that just loves weddings. We just went through and we devised all these systems, and we learned how everything worked, and weddings is just our passion.
I like it. Why? One of the big questions, obviously, brides have is why should they spend the money on a professional, especially in today's world where they can plug in an iPad or they have a friend who DJ'd in college.
Right.
What's the benefit of hiring a professional DJ?
It all comes down to experience. The guys who charge a little bit higher in this market have been in the game for a long time. They've been doing weddings for a while. They know what they're doing. Someone who's just starting out, they're probably going to charge a couple $100, $200, $300 maybe. But you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know what is walking into your ballroom to perform at your event. And whoever is there as your performer, your DJ, your master of ceremonies, they're representing you that evening. Basically, they are your they're the voice of your party, and they're representing the bride and the groom. And so your guests are going to remember that stuff. If there's any kind of slip-ups, it's going to be Macy and John's DJ. They just attached your name to whoever was performing that night. So that DJ is literally your rep for your reception.
I like it. I always say professionals are better.
That's right.
Tell all the brides. Why have you decided in your career to DJ weddings?
I just love the moments. The moments, there's nothing like it. You're standing there, you're getting ready to announce them into the room. This big, giant, grand, you're introducing them. It's literally the second time because the pastor did it first. But still, this is like one of the major moments of the reception. And it's massive. And it gives me chills every time I do an introduction. Because you're going Mr. and Mrs. The crowd is getting wild. The hands are going together. And you got the hoops and the hollers. And everybody's just so happy and they're celebrating this moment. And it's just amazing. And then you get around to those moments like the first dance. It's their one little moment. It's just them in the dance floor. And then the bride dances with her dad. This guy, her dad has been waiting, 20 some odd years to dance with his daughter. And then it's finally happening. And the tears flow. There's smiles all around. It's just the moments. I love the moments.
That comes back to the same question of why you hire a professional. You want those moments to be perfect.
Absolutely.
And somebody not jumbling around with the songs.
Absolutely.
Which we've all, you may not have seen, but I have seen as far as other
I've heard plenty of stories. Me personally, I started doing this about 2001. And so I've definitely been around the block a while, and I've heard plenty of nightmare stories. My sister's DJ did this, or I went to a friend's wedding and their DJ said their last name wrong. Who does that?
I've seen it. I've seen it too. All right, what makes for an amazing wedding reception in your eyes?
Just having a crowd that is willing. That's the easiest way for me to say it. Your guests are a big portion of what will make it a success. If you have a pretty good section of guests that are pretty lively people, that are going to be moving around, that are very outgoing, and they're all chit-chatting with each other, that's a major player as far as, having a successful dance floor. For me, it's the dance floor. That's what makes it successful for me. Was the dance floor full? Or were people dancing at all? That's what I go by. that makes it a success for me. As far as overall, I would just say everything going off without a hitch. You know, timeline worked out well. Everybody flowed together. The vendors worked great together. I mean, because you got to have a great team. If you don't have a good team of vendors, your photographer, your DJ, your videographer, all those people need to work together, be on the same team, be on the same page to make sure that everything is working in the background.
Yeah.
So it's totally team effort. You know, it takes a village, they say, to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to pull off a wedding reception as well.
What do you strive yourself on as far as keeping that flow going on the dance floor and keeping it a great reception?
It's a lot of people watching, which is one of the points that I really love about what I do. I get to watch people all evening on the weekends, you know, and so you're always looking for little signs here and there as far as, are you moving in the right direction? So you're watching people's heads, you're watching their hands, you're watching their feet, you're watching their mouths. You know, if they're singing along, if they're tapping along, if they're bouncing that leg to the beat, you know you're moving in the right direction. And so you can push a little harder, and eventually it's going to evolve. And they're going to get up, and their favorite song is going to be on, and it's going to lure them. You know, it's like fishing. You know, you throw the right bait into the pond, you're going to catch your fish.
Devin's professional. Don't worry when he's staring at you at your ceremony or reception. He's just getting a feel. All right.
That's right.
It's
that's
part
right.
of the job. Let's see what else we got.
Only when my eyes get really wide do you need to worry.
What is the number one question that couples ask you when they come in for a consultation or over the phone?
You know, it's funny. It's what separates you from everyone else, which I believe is one of the
Next question is
it's
what?
the next question.
Name one thing that separates
Absolutely.
M&M Productions from the hundreds of other DJ companies in Oklahoma.
You know, there's a lot of different answers to this: experience, time, longevity. You know, like I said, we started in 1992 as a single DJ. We're doing house parties, but over the last 15 years, we have seriously only done weddings. And so that knowledge, knowing other vendors, knowing as many vendors as we do in the industry, allows us to work well with all of these different vendors. We have the knowledge of what goes on in a reception and what happens at a wedding, that feel for when things need to get done, timeline-wise, you know, making sure the first dance gets done, make sure the cake and the toast and all that different kind of stuff, and just orchestration. And then all of the practice of emceeing or being that master of ceremonies, making sure that things are getting done on time, pointing people in the right direction, making sure that everything is going off the way that it's supposed to go off. That makes us a little different. All the systems that we've put in place for our own security, as far as like backup systems that we carry with us, duplicating all the important music for that day. We put it in multiple formats. That way we have a backup of every single thing. And a lot of guys don't do that. They'll go in with one copy and knock on wood, let's hope it works. Well, the hope does nothing. You have to be prepared for these things. And, you know, with that experience that and knowledge that we've gained over all these years, it's put us in a position where we don't fail. Which is great, because nobody likes to fail. We do have a team of guys here. Most of them have been with us for a long time. So we have a lot of creative minds in the M&M pot, which allows us to be a little flexible. We have a lot of great personalities, which allows us to be super flexible because, you know, Devin may not be the perfect DJ for someone's wedding, but Daniel may be, or Roger may be, or Jay may be, because we all have different personalities and we all have different strengths. So that makes us different.
I like it. Got anything else for the couples out there that are interested in
No, I
booking
mean,
M&M
you
for-
just need to book M&M. That's the only.
That is the case there.
That's the only thing I can tell you. You know, with our knowledge in the wedding industry and all the relationships that we have with all the other vendors and venues, it just makes sense. So what I suggest to brides today, pull out a piece of paper and a pen. Write down what's important to you for your reception. Where do your priorities lie? Is it the dance floor? Is it the food? Is it the video? Or is it the pictures? What is your priorities? And 90% of the time, the bride's going to have pictures or video and entertainment as their priorities. No one's going to remember the food. No one's going to, and I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm going to anyway, so don't get your feelings hurt. No one's going to really remember the dress.
Every now and
But
then they'll
they're
look at the closet. And
That's
be
right.
sitting in there.
But they're going to remember that experience. They're going to remember that memory. They're going to remember that moment. And they're going to remember whether the entertainment was good or the entertainment sucked. Just to be blunt.
And they can look at weddings in different. I like to look at them in threes. There's the prep, the before the ceremony, and the reception. Mm-hmm. So they need to put those in the whole. Yeah, your photographer will be there the whole time. Videographer hopefully the whole time.
Absolutely.
But when you're thinking about putting a DJ in line, don't just think about the whole wedding. This section that reception off or that ceremony time too.
Right.
And then what's important to you.
Right.
Not
Absolutely.
the whole, because he's not going to be there for the but that reception, that DJ controls everything.
Absolutely. The DJ, your master of ceremonies, your MC for short, is the one who's controlling the evening. Like I said, they're the one with the mic. They're the one who's making those announcements. They're the one who are guiding people, telling them where they need to go, what to do, what's coming up, what to prepare for. You know, as far as M&M DJs go, we're running around in the background making sure that everything's ready before we ever make an announcement. We're talking to the other vendors in the room. We're making sure, let's say it's the cake cutting. We're making sure that the knife and the scooper are there, and the plates and a napkin before we ever make that announcement, because we don't want time wasted. Mm-hmm. You know, so we're making sure things are prepped before we ever say anything out loud.
You guys are in some cases the planner for the reception.
Absolutely.
Make sure everything going smoothly, and I've seen it done. Even if they do have a planner, you work hand in hand with the vendors that
Right.
you have. So,
I mean, there's been times where I take on roles that I would have never thought I'd be taking on. I remember doing a wedding about a month ago. It was super hot outside. Bride and groom are outside taking photos with the photographer. They're just dripping sweat. And I'm looking around and I'm like, man, they're out there dying. So I seriously filled up like 3 giant cups, and I'm like running across the field in my suit, you know. Here, guys, I know you're dying out here. Let me get you some water. It's just taking it one more step. It's giving that service that not a lot of other people are willing or think of doing. You know, taking them some water was a small thing for me, but it meant the world to them because they were out there suffering in the Oklahoma sun.
we all know that.
So
Great. Well, I appreciate your time, and
absolutely,
everybody
it's my
go
pleasure.
and book M&M Productions for
right.
your next wedding.
OKCDJ.com or
The information will be at the bottom.
Oh,
of this.
yes. There's going to be info down
Yeah,
there?
there'll be info.
I love
We'll
it.
get all your info. We'll get it all done.
All right.
We'll tag some videos in there. Go check out their videos.
That's right. OKCDJ, there are videos on there. Alumni production videos. Yes, absolutely. Love this guy. Scott's amazing. So make sure you hire him as well.
We'll get to that in another podcast. Podcast myself.
There you
All
go.
right, thanks, sir.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.